So thank you, everyone, the whole world, tuning in to our collective YouTube channel for the latest episode on the Good New World series, which is broadcasted on our collective YouTube channel and then uploaded later on to our collective Facebook group. So you can see it live here, and all my blunders and whatever will be shown to the world. But anyway, to the episode 6, which is on this new governance, which you could say is pretty well relevant to what the world's going through. Here in the United States, especially, we have a presidential election coming up in November, a couple of months, those that are aware of it. And obviously, I'm a proud American, and I will definitely be going out there voting. And we American, maybe arrogantly, claim that we are the pillar of democracy, to uphold the democracy with our constitution, etc. But those that saw the violent uprising on January 6th after Donald Trump was thankfully not elected, and Joe Biden was legally elected. Despite that, there were certain entities that wanted to bring down our democracy, and that is continuing to be the case. So one of the major topics of this current election is the saving of our democracy, literally. Okay. I make no bones about it. Just like Taylor Swift, I endorse Kamala Harris as our next US president. Those know my politics and my religious affiliation will know, where I'm coming from. So it is perhaps fortuitous that today the topic is indeed new governance. And if, as the stars are aligning, each month our group at the Knowledge Book, which I am with my beautiful wife, Andrea Wen, and her mother, Linda Zariah, are one of the 12 within the Knowledge Book, which we present our presentation each month. And coincidentally, or more likely fate, it is also our presentation for this September happens to also fall within the new governance. So there is alignment. So for this podcast, it is new governance. And for this month's Knowledge Book presentation, it is also new governance. So, this wasn't planned deliberately, but I guess I said the stars aligning. So enough of my yitter-yatting. Let's actually get into the nitty-gritty of what I mean by new governance. Okay. Before I say that, obviously I'm a proud Democrat. I believe totally in the democracy, and that people, that we the people, or should be served for the people. And democracy, I say it, but there is a fragility, as I mentioned to you, to democracy as well. That and we must try to avoid tyranny taking over, because that will only ever end up in bloodshed. But also, I believe it's a Greek philosopher. He wasn't one for democracy. His adversity to democracy wasn't that it wasn't fair, but his policy was like, there's an analogy to a ship captain. When you're sailing a ship in a storm, do you want one person of experience and expertise to guide the ship, or do you want to take a vote amongst all the passengers? That isn't. So that's sort of his analogy why democracy can be fatal and can lead to, let's just say, issues regarding how the governance is done. So within this good new world, this new governance have safeguards to ensure that our democracy are, just like our collective has, as I said, the operating model of art, business, and charity that provides a solid foundation, unbreakable foundation, just like my one God, one religion unifies science with religion, again, to make it unbreakable and solid. Similarly, this new governance that you're going to hear about will also deliver a new governance system that will also ensure the safeguard for all citizens, including the majority and the minority. So enough of that. I'm going to go now into the nitty-gritty. And this nitty-gritty actually will be using our monthly presentation that we created for our knowledge book. Apologies to that. Let me... So a little bit of interruption on that. You may double. That's actually our collective YouTube channel playing in the background. So I apologize for that. I just muted that and I'm not going to proceed. So let me share the screen with you and the presentation with you, I should say. So this is my presentation. Sharing. Okay. So as you see, this presentation was done to the Call to Friendship Association, which is affiliated to the Malana Supreme Foundation, which my wife and myself was on the stage a couple of months ago in Istanbul in front of a few thousand delegates from, I think, over 40 nations. So we were honored. We didn't actually cover the new governance because I said there's obviously so many topics, but the series that we did cover from this good new world was New Life, which was the first episode of this series. But anyway, this is the 6th episode, the new governance. And an excerpt taken from the knowledge book, if you read down there in the bottom left corner, is all the world groups are directly under the... Sorry, I'm trying to read the thing. It's actually blurred out there. Apologies for that. I didn't want to put my face too close to it, but this is an excerpt from the knowledge book, which we believe is a relevant section which relates to exactly this topic, new governance. So I'll let you guys read it because I don't have my contact lenses in, and so it's embarrassing. I don't want to put my face up to the screen to read it. But anyway, this is the cover sheet, and you can see on the right-hand side, if you want to check out the Call to Friendship organization and Malana organization, there's the website on the bottom right-hand corner. So sheet number 2, new governance. So we the people, for the people, okay? That is an extremely powerful message that is part of this new governance that we are developing under this Good New World series. So now, democracy are held in place by laws, whether we agree with certain of the laws or not, okay? But we are governed by laws that stop us killing each other, stealing from each other, and even from illegally parking in disabled bay. The laws are there in place, So I'm just going to read this excerpt to you because I think what we're discussing is extremely relevant for what this world going through right now, especially, I said to you, in this United States where I reside, where democracy is our state, literally, okay? So to play games, there must be rules. To prevent cheating, there must be penalties. To entice players, there must be rewards. Life is the ultimate game, governed by the rules of law. For those cheating the governing system, punishments are the consequence. People just want to be rewarded with happiness in their lives, with their controlling governance, aiding their dreams, and protecting their interests with righteous governance, guidance, and fair justice for all. Nations are ruled by myriad types of governing system, ranging from dictatorial one ruler commands all to democratic all citizens established governance. And I've been blessed that the nations that I've been associated with, from my birthplace in Singapore, my education in the United Kingdom, and now where I am in the United States, my governments are all democratically elected governments. And that's why all these nations, Singapore, United Kingdom, and United States, are extremely prosperous, economically wise, morally wise. Yeah, we're not perfect, of course, but in terms of the other one dictatorial ruler, I'm sure you all know those. Those are exactly not, let's just say, a healthy economic nations based on those tyrannical, dictatorial way of leading their nation. So I'm proud that I live in a free society, and I'm proud that I'm associated with the great nations of Singapore, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. But let me continue. However, even in the latter case, where each citizen has an apparent choice, history has demonstrated not all citizens are granted quality of governing protection. The majority can persecute the minorities, and in some cases, the more vocal and violent few can even gain control and intimidate their fellow citizen into hardship and unjust punishment. And luckily, the January 6th event, which is a stain on our US history, was not able to bring out our great democracy here in the United States. Anyway, let me continue again. There are no perfect systems ruled by people. If all people are perfect, then we would need no governments, okay? And hopefully one day this good new world will come to fruition where everyone will be good, everyone will be wise, and then we will all be self-governing within ourselves. Mathematics is in principle factually flawless, and science is in principle truthfully correct. Hence, if a government could be developed through a methodological derived system, governed strictly by logical applications of fundamentally defined laws, then in theory we could evolve a near perfect governance that could protect nearly all citizens. First step to achieving the near perfect governing system is to define the fundamental set of rules that the citizen must agree to obey. The following 10 commandments will form the ruling constitution of our theoretical near perfect government. Apologies if you sound this boring, but to me, this is at the core of what will protect all of us as individual and as collectively of a great nation. Okay, so that's why I'm taking my time, deliberate time, to go through this. Now, I'm aware that our US Constitution, there is a separation with religion and our governing body. I do actually understand that, why our founding fathers did that. I said all the founding fathers of a great nation actually came from Europe, where there were religious persecution, and that's why most of them were driven from the persecution from Europe to America, and that's why our founding father decided that was not what they wanted. They did not want our religious belief to be embedded in our governing system. So you may say, well, why then am I putting this religious? Well, as I mentioned to you, this religion, quote, is not religion, it is a scientific doctrine. And even these new 10 commandments, which I already gave as part of the series, and I'd say episode 3, you can do this. So I'm not going to reread these 10 constitution. The reason why these commandments are more relevant for modern space age that we are, these 10 commandments can also be programmed within AI, artificial creation, to basically ensure that our creation don't turn around and basically decide that we humans are their creator, are actually not relevant for our creation would then come and basically eliminate us. So if we can program these morally, ethically good system within our artificial intelligence, then we will not only protect ourselves from humans, but we'll protect ourselves from our own AI created entities. Okay, so that's the relevance of these commandments. So it's not direct religious integration into our governance. I would say it's more of a direct scientific integration of morals and ethics into our governments. Okay, so I just want to make that absolutely clear. All right, why I'm defining this commandments as inherently important in this new governing system. Okay, so what I define as the ruling class. Okay, so the ruling class are not or should not be the richest and most powerful people. Okay, but we live in a society where, regrettably, money and power are in the hands of a few. Okay, so this new governance, hopefully, well, not hopefully, is intended to basically ensure that those that are ruling class is based on their ability, their capability, and their goodwill and wisdom, and not just how much money they have or many guns they own. Okay, so these are the various branches of the government branches. There's the executive, the administrative, the judicial, and the legislative. So this Holy Trinity, which is our collective, art, business, and charity, is also integrated in this Holy Trinity of the governing system. And the Holy Trinity includes academia, Congress, and bureau. Okay, and the overlapping of these three governing staple of our governments are what will create the executive, administrative, judicial, and legislative. Now, of course, you would say, well, this looks very much like the governing system of the United States, where we have the executive, which is the presidential, the judicial, Supreme Court, and Congress. And so, yeah, I make no bones about it. I'm proud of the democratic system that I have lived successful through in Singapore, as I mentioned, United Kingdom, and United States. And yes, I've taken the best, what I believe the best of those systems, incorporated into the new governing system, which I think will be extremely robust and ensure that all citizens are equally protected. So I'll start with the first pillar of this governing system, academia. Now, I obviously, those that know me knows I have a PhD in nuclear physics, and that's not boastful, of course. So I've gone through a lot of study, and I do believe, intellectual may not directly equate to wisdom. Yet there are some very smart people who are also happen to be very evil people as well. But generally speaking, the smartest of those, the wisest of those, are aware of where the problems lies in our society. And for the most part, the smartest one knows to follow the good and righteous path. So I do believe it is important for all our citizens to have a good education behind them. And the smartest of those should contribute constructively to modeling how our governing system, are to be done. So these academia are the scholars. So the scholars are qualified through their qualifications, through examination, etc., and also an examination. So just like I got my PhD, I had to go through various phases of high school, getting my exam, then from high school to college, then from college to university, then from university to graduate studies, etc. So through that, I obviously got smarter, you want to say it, more intellectual, wiser, having time to think over all the problems and come up with meaningful solution. So I believe scholars, well-learned scholars with experience, have a lot to contribute. So in this academia, I suggest taking one of the top 1,000 of the smartest people in our society. Again, I'm not saying that all 1,000 will be good people and whatever, but for the general speaking, smart people, for the most part, knows what the right things are to be done. Okay, these academia will also integrate and co-share knowledge and governing system with the other two branches, which is the legislative and the judicial, which is all in there. And again, in future podcasts, I'll go into more specific details on each of these classification and how they actually work and operate. Okay. So again, I think I read the reason for the new governance in more detail, but I'm not going to read through each of these sections. I'll put it up there so you can pause the video and you can read it because they are very important. But this covers the reason why I believe an important branch of our new governing system should be very smart, wise people. Again, I'm not trying to say that because you're wise and smart that you can generally be good. Like I said to you, history has proven that there are a lot of smart geniuses who regrettably use the geniuses for evil causes. But I do believe that people who are smarter do realize that if you're evil, that you're being destructive, it ultimately will not lead to fully sustainable and things will collapse. So the smart one, even the ones who are not soulful, will realize that, they need to use things the right way, the good way, because that will lead to long-term sustainability and in their part lead to profitability as well. As I mentioned, our collective, the operating system and our business charity leads to highly productive, highly profitable, and highly philanthropic long-term sustainability for all of us. So I genuinely believe that you can be successful doing things the good way. Okay, and smart people will realize that, and even they may not be soulful or good, they will do what needs to be done for them to succeed in a very successful society. Okay, so academia is one branch, important branch of our governing system. The other one is bureau. So bureau is what I consider the bureaucrats. Okay, so whether we have disdain for our governing bureaucrat, they are important because just like the analogy I gave earlier about the ship captains, is that if you have a vessel sailing in storm, who do you want to command that vessel? An experienced captain that knows the sea, knows the weather, knows the vessel, or do you want to take boats with amongst the passengers that don't have a clue? Oh no, let's sail to the rocks, and that way if the ship sinks, we can at least grab hold of the rocks, and it's gonna if the ship hits the rock and sink, then everyone will go down with it. Okay, so the bureau is people with vast experience and expertise that knows exactly how system should work properly and those bureaus will also interact directly with the administrative branch and also judicial branch. Okay, and again, I'm not going to go into specific detail here. I will cover those individually in all future podcasts. And again, you can pause this and read what the bureau stand for and can contribute to a new governing system. Okay, then the final arm is the Congress. So again, like the ABC, the art, business, charity, we have the ABC here. We have the academia, we have the bureau, now we have the final arm of our government, which is Congress. So it's like the Congress in the United States of America. So these are where people will have the election. The academia will be based on people, the smartest 1,000. Bureau will be based on those with the proven knowledge and experience to get a job done and a project off the ground, etc. But this will be 100 members, which will be elected on a 5-year term, just like here in the United States, by the people for the people. So the people should have a voice, but just like the ship captain, it should not have the governing voice of it because asking passengers how they should steer the ship in a storm is not the best way to save a ship. Okay, so similarly, relying on people to make a governing thing is not. Even though I live in a great democracy, truthfully, it's not a perfect democracy because there are various types of democracy. It's not proportional representation. So just like Hillary Clinton lost the election to Donald Trump, but she actually has more votes by the populace than Donald Trump. So even our system, you can argue, it's not purely, pure democracy. Because if that was the case, then Hillary Clinton should be our U.S. president and not Donald Trump. And maybe history will be totally different. But I know history will be totally different. But anyway, so in this new governance, there is a Congress which are elected by the citizens. So the citizens do have a voice, a 1/3 voice, along with the Bureau of experienced people and academia of wise people. So again, you can pause this video and read the contact of how the congressional members are elected by the citizen of the nation. Now, out of these four, so I'm going to drink a bit of my coffee here. Out of these three governing branches, the executive, which just like the executive here is the president or the prime minister in other democracies such as the United Kingdom. So the executive will be a leader from the Congress, okay? And the executive branch, again, will have an elected member, called the president, called the prime minister, which will basically oversee the three branches of judicial, legislative, and administrative branches of the governing system. Okay. And again, you can pause if you want to read more about how the executive is to be elected on a 5-year term. Then we have the administrative branch, which is controlled by the Bureau and Congress. And again, I know this may sound a bit confusing, so let me just ask you, all right? The main governing branches are academia, Bureau, and Congress, and they have an overlapping control management over various branches of the government. So in this case, the administrative system of our governance is controlled by both the Bureau, who are experienced entities, and Congress, who are elected entities. And those will have governing control and management over the administrative. And administrative, in turn, will have governing and managing branches over personnel, operations of government, and over the ministries and financing of governments as well. And similarly, the legislative system is managed and controlled by the academia and Congress. And in turn, the legislative will manage the technical research, the AI programming, and I'll answer why this is important later on. It's and the policy committee and lawmaking of a government. And the judicial will be under the auspices, control of academia and the Bureau branch of our government. And the judicial system will in turn, again, be managing the technical research and the AI programming, and also the justice agency and enforcement. And again, you can pause and read in more detail what this judicial system set up under these new governments will entail. So thank you again for those that have taken the time, and this podcast is a bit longer than usual, but I think it's extremely important, extremely relevant for myself and for my fellow citizens here in the United States of America. But I believe that this new governing system will bring a lot of stability, and as I said, will protect all the individual and all the collective rights of the citizen of a nation. And one day, I genuinely believe will be adopted worldwide, by the entire world. Okay, again, to protect our individual and our collective rights. All right. So much love. Let me close out this before I finish my thing. Let me stop the sharing. Okay, so much love, much peace, and Christ our blessing to all my fellow citizens on this planet Earth.